Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. We got a video today from Steph Marcel.
They don't want you? They don't want you? You actually have to be likable to find someone? The fact that women don't need men to survive anymore has caused the male loneliness epidemic. Men had to manufacture a sense of need for their presence. And you don't know how to be desirable to women, so you're lonely. Aww.
It's always the tortas.
Aww. Thoughts and prayers.
Are some women so delusional they think they can openly and freely disparage men without consequence? Yes and no. Yes, because they are delusional. But also no, because they live in a social and cultural bubble that reinforces these delusions to a level of normality. They have no idea how the world works and how men are essential to almost every part of their lives. To the food.
Right, she's talking about privilege, right? Female privilege, women privilege that men have literally took animals to extinction to be able to protect them and built society with walls to protect them from winds and elements, and then AC to protect them from the heat, and then heating and gas stoves so they don't have to work their bare bones to doing normal chores. No, these are all the great things and benevolence that men have always gave women and provided for women. And women have always throughout history kind of understood this. It's only now feminism they're at this peak of luxury in a sense. Now that we don't need all man, or we don't need a man anymore. I can do anything I want to do.
Food on their plates, to the homes that they live in, to the roads that they drive, to the technology that they use, and to the conception that gave them life. In conjunction with this degradation of men, we've given all the power to women. We've raised women up, as we should, but not to be equals to men, but to levels far above men, telling women we are far superior and don't need men in our lives. This superiority complex leads to sweeping generalizations like believe all women, as if all women are innocent, are always the victims, can do no harm, do not lie, cheat, abuse, or are violent. The media further fuels this narrative, often sentencing men to trial by media, portraying men as the predators and abusers,
And trial by media is rough, right? Just any accusation or anything, people just run with it on the internet. Even my channel sometimes runs with things just because it's like the news that comes up. Sometimes it doesn't get fact checked. I'm not so great at fact checking. I'm just kind of reacting to videos live with you guys because I actually don't pre-watch any of them. And it's just like, oh crap, and then I see it later that I messed up, and damn it.
Should lose their job, be cancelled, and have their lives ruined without even being found guilty of a crime. Some Hollywood celebrities, influencers, podcasters, YouTubers also echo these same sentiments, deepening these narratives throughout society. This mass fight and war against men just drives a wedge between men and women because it has led men to distance themselves from women out of fear of being falsely accused, mislabeled, and potentially dumped, fired, or canceled for no reason. The workplace environment has become an HR hotspot where men aren't willing to be alone in a room with a woman. They censor their conversations around women and overall just distrust women and question their motivations and intentions. And some men have even checked out of the dating pool, believing the effort isn't worth the cost because the likelihood of finding a
Juice ain't worth the squeeze is what we like to say.
woman who offers an equal exchange of value is unlikely. Now, what many women fail to understand is that they may think they have won by rising above men and making them feel dispensable, but in reality, it only leads to self-destruction.
Tell me why every day I go out looking adorable, tits bouncing, skin glistening, and yet nobody ever hits on me or approaches me. Ever. Oh my God, please. I'll take a construction worker catcall at this point. Please.
The same Gallup poll I referred to in part 1, which found that men in the US aged 15 to 34 are amongst the loneliest in the West, also found that the second most lonely group are women aged 35 to 54. It's funny how the headline is about the men, when in reality, women are not too far behind. If I were to speculate, I would say these women are most likely unmarried, don't have kids, and are working unfulfilling jobs. And these are not out of choice. They do want to be in a loving relationship with a quality man and have a family and kids to care for. And maybe have a part-time or full-time job that provides them some form of satisfaction outside the family. Their desperation is high because they're nearing the end of their fertility window without finding that partner they want to start a family with. and they see the doors closing. They potentially also spent the past decade adhering to the modern feminist belief that they don't need a man, and they should focus on themselves and their careers, only now to come to the realization that those ambitions provide little life satisfaction, especially as they get older and see their friends get married and start families. And thus, all the extracurricular activities with friends and colleagues start to dry up. You don't
We see it now. I see it now. I'm 39 now. My birthday was like last week. And I'll have a lot of friends and acquaintances and friends of friends that are desperate. These women are desperate. They're so upset at the other friends that are married and have kids. And they're not upset, but so jealous. You can see the envy in their eyes when it comes to a lot of these things.
don't have to look far on social media to see evidence of this, where women are complaining they can't find a quality man, that they are alone and want to start a family. But few men want to be with these women because they are
Where are all the good men at?
are often self-centered, entitled, bring little to the relationship, and don't understand how to be a valuable partner to the men they desire. This is especially a problem for younger generations, because if women, social media, news media, and society make it their mission to destroy men, then how are they to develop, grow, and become the real men that women will come to desire?
This is the problem with young men nowadays. They don't care to be desirable anymore. They don't care to work on themselves and build themselves to that level of where women find them attractive, because again, young men have learned from men like us and channels like this that juice ain't worth the squeeze. It hardly ever is, and marriage is a scam for most men out there.
To become their husbands and father of their children. We are removing outlets for young boys and men. For example, less recreation time and sports in schools to blow off steam. And we wonder why so many young kids, and especially boys, are being diagnosed with hyperactivity disorders. Very few boys now go to Boy Scouts or some equivalent, which gives them a space amongst men to engage in male bonding activities and camaraderie.
I always wished I was in Boy Scouts. I always wanted to do Boy Scout things. I've always had friends that were in it, and I just saw the things they did, learning how to tie rope and knots and things. I wish I had that skill.
Men need their spaces to just be men, just like women need their spaces to just be women. There used to be many gentlemen's clubs or male health clubs that provided these bonding spaces, but a few vocal feminist women have protested, claiming they are discriminatory on the basis of sex and should allow women entry and membership. We call men's only spaces sexist for not allowing women, but women's only gyms, camps, events, and spas are not. Where can men go to just be men? If you're watching, let me know in the comments below, where do you go to just be amongst men and feel totally free? The progressive leftist...
The only time I ever do feel that way is just hanging out with my buddies in the garage. You know, like when we go to my buddy Jimmy's house and it's just us. And the only woman that's usually there is his mom. And she's just kind of quietly watching sports with us. It's like she's hardly ever really there and presence-wise, because she doesn't really mingle with us that much. She's just there. But where it feels like, oh, it's just the boys, we can say whatever we want, however we want. Rose hardly ever cares. So
woke liberal women have no incentive to provide a balanced perspective, because that would reduce or remove the agenda they want to push for their own gains. If only one side of the truth and narrative are continuously pushed, it has a cultural impact where incorrect beliefs become the normal group attitude.
It's true.
And it only hurts women, because often what women say and what they respond to are two very different things. They will say one thing for social cohesion or groupthink, but act in a completely opposite way. For example, there is a narrative push that women want soft, caring, emotionally vulnerable men, but they also punish those men and feel unattracted to them if they do express feelings or a softer, vulnerable side. Women also fight for equality of outcome in the working world, but aren't willing to do the long hours, dirty, and dangerous jobs that men do. They only want the CEO and board positions to be equal, without having to take the long, hard, and sometimes personally damaging road to get there. At the end of the day, the idea that women should overtake men and that men should basically live their lives in exile without consequence to women is laughable. But
I mean, how many stories are women talking about, oh, all men should start on jail. All men should, you know, be homeless and experience this so they can experience life better or have more empathy or whatever women seem to think in their heads that men are lacking.
Unfortunately, we are seeing the consequences of this mentality and reality play out, and it's not looking hopeful or beneficial to anyone. In this video, and I hope it comes across in all my videos, is a message that men and women need one another.
We do.
We are equals in our value, but provide different types of value. And that's extremely important to the balance of our society, community, and family dynamics. I truly believe this. If women, the media, and society don't start treating men as equals and highly valuable to society, things are going to get a lot worse for both men and women. That's why I make videos like these, because I care about our future and the future of my children. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the work that I do, please give this video a big thumbs up.
And shout outs to Steph. Seems like she's a mother and just wants to put out a much better message for women than the current message and the current status quo, which isn't a bad thing, you know? Hey, she could be a chameleon too, I don't know, but just listening and watching a few of her videos, she seems quite genuine in the things she's talking about and the things she's saying. That's all we can hope for, is like women that do speak up and are genuine about it and not just there to try to cash in a check on men. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that, and I catch you guys next time. Ciao.